gonna jump on this team early. Let's go. Work on three. 1, 2, 3. Work.
Toronto, Ontario, Canada's largest city, and its center for culture and commerce. Hockey is king up here. And Toronto's team has earned their spot in the people's hearts and in history. Ironically, the Toronto Huskies played the NBA's first game ever in 1946. But that game and that team are just a faded memory. Now, the Raptors are Toronto's team, and they are trying to create a lasting imprint.
Something every day, and he did it again tonight. If you look up at the backboard, about 11.5 feet up there, you see 3 fingerprints. That was his left hand as he put his right hand on the top as if he was taking a quarter off that backboard, then looked over to the Sixers bench and said, "Watch out."
I said, oh, I didn't come to play. I didn't play hard. I didn't do this. Oh, my goodness. Never that. I mean, and what really kind of got under my skin is for the people that know me, fans, players, media, whatever, should know better.
So then how do you explain his sudden turnaround in play? After scoring just 15.9 points in 20 games with the Raptors, Carter is pouring in over 26 a game with the Nets.
How I was used in Toronto and how I'm used in Jersey is totally different. So I think people just want to feel that way just because they're mad that I left, and I understand that, and I don't have a problem with that. But at the same time, know the truth, know the whole situation. I don't have a problem with people being upset and mad, but at the same time, don't assume things.
Situation for me, it was more of a culture shock. For going to another country, a different place I had never been to before, and going to the NBA at the same time. It was scary a little bit. On one side I was super happy, but on the other side I didn't know what was gonna happen or how this was even gonna take place. So it was definitely a turning point in my life.
With the 9th pick in the 2009 NBA draft, the Toronto Raptors select DeMar DeRozan from the University of Southern California. DeMar DeRozan played 1 year at USC, 6'7", 211 pounds. He was MVP of the Pac-10 tournament. There are people who say he's got as much potential as any player in the draft. Averaged about 14 points per game and 6 rebounds a game last year.
here's what those teams that we have in gold. The teams in gold, we know those are locked in. Toronto 1, Boston 2, and Indiana will be the 5 seed. Philadelphia will be either 3 or 4. Cleveland, they could flip-flop. Then you got Milwaukee, Miami, Washington, who's playing Boston tonight. If they lose this game, they will be the number 8 seed, and they will face Toronto in the opening round.
Well, you got to avoid 8 and 5.
You got to avoid 8.
Oh, really? Yeah, Toronto's the favorite in the Eastern Conference.
Well, 10 straight losses to Cleveland in the playoffs, 2 straight sweeps at the hands of the Cavs. And not just that they lost to the Cavs this year, but in the manner with which they lost. Getting swept, really not showing up in that game 4. They had a coach who was going into the last year of his deal. That wasn't something Dwayne Casey wanted or the Raptors. And you were either going to extend them here or you were going to make a change. And this for the Raptors is, sometimes it's roster versus the coach. And now they'll go at this largely with that same roster coming back and try it with a different coach, a different system.
Not only apologize to DeMar DeRozan for maybe a gap of miscommunication, but also to acknowledge him and what he's done here with the Raptors for this city, for this country. There's no measure to what this kid has done, and we appreciate him, and I promise you that we're going to celebrate him in the best possible way that we can. It's one of the tough things in this business because we want to win, and I have to do everything in this organization to get us to a championship level. There's also the human side of this business, and that's the part I really struggle with the most, and that's what's most difficult. There's excitement, but a lot of excitement, but there's also I'm a loyal person. I know I'm a loyal person, and you build relationships in this business over the years, and you have relationships with players and people. And the human part doesn't make it easy at all. And I really do acknowledge there's no measurement for what DeMar DeRozan has done for this organization. When you're in my position, you always have to be open in what you can do. And both of us had a conversation, and me and DeMar know what that conversation was, and maybe I should have handled it, better. So that's what I'm apologizing.